Hey everyone, so I wanted to do a review of a trilogy that has consumed my life for probably the past month, maybe? I want to say it took me about a month to get through these, which is kind of surprising. But that is The Magician's Trilogy by Lev Grossman. These books consumed my soul. I didn't expect it, I had no idea what I was getting into when I went into the first book, but yeah, these books need to be talked about and read by everybody. Not everybody, but a lot of people should be reading these books, and I'm spreading the word. That's the point of this video, I guess. So a brief, non-spoiler summary of these is hard to explain. This series is very, very vast, and it's kind of hard to encompass what goes on in these books in just kind of like a one-sentence summary. But the one thing that I want to get across is this first book is compared to Harry Potter, and I want to lay it on the table. This is not Harry Potter. The only similarity that this book has to Harry Potter is the fact that there is kind of a secret magic school in it. That's where it stops. I would actually compare this first book more to The Name of the Wind in how it flows more than any sort of children's or YA book, because this series is the farthest thing from a children's series. There are some dark, gritty topics in this that should never be approached by children. So this first book follows a main character by the name of Quentin who randomly stumbles across this exam to get into a secret magic school called Breakbills. What I love about this school is the fact that it's not for special people, it's for people who are unbelievably intelligent and work their asses off to get to where they are, which is my main thing about this series that I love the most. There's no one hero character. There's no chosen people. Everybody kills themselves to get to where they are in the series, and I just love that it shows the dark, gritty nature of reaching not necessarily glory, but higher status in the world just by sheer cheating and horrible things and changing her mind and questioning things and just working and working and working at it. I really like this. The magic system is really intriguing because it's pretty simple in that you're not gifted with it. You just have to work really, really hard. You learn tons of languages. You have to study every sort of circumstance that could affect a spell, and you just spend hours and hours and hours with the characters learning this stuff. But it's not dry. Like, you experience everything with them, but you're enjoying it while you experience it, which is something that I found very surprising. These books take me a long time to get through, and they're not that long. They're maybe like 400 pages each, but they took me a long time to get through because there's so much to absorb in every single chapter. And just expanding on this book alone and kind of setting the tone for the rest of the series, you experience the magic school, and then it ends very quickly, and you are kind of thrust into the vastness of the multi-universe world that you live in this series. There is normal reality in Brooklyn, this school, and then a magical world called Fillory, which is a magical world that is in a beloved children's story of these characters that happens to be real. That's pretty much what I want to talk about as far as any sort of synopsis for that series, just because you need to go in not knowing much and just experience it with the characters and go on the wild ride with them, because you just get blindsided the entire time and you just kind of have to accept it like the characters do. And that's what I love so much about this series, is that you get thrown so many things and you just have to embrace it and move on. And they're not good stuff. That's the difference with this series that I really enjoyed. None of the characters are heroes. The main characters that you follow in this series aren't good people. They're narcissistic, they cheat, they steal, they lie, but it kind of shows that you're not necessarily just handed this glory that all the main protagonists of books generally get. You work really hard for it, and you do really nasty things to get to where you are. And as the series goes on, you start to learn more about the different characters and how some people had it what you thought really tough, and then it turns out there's another person who had it 1,000 times tougher than they did to get to where they are. And it's just really impressive that you get to experience the learning process with each of these characters to show how hard it is to get to where they are, and that it's not all just like fairy tales. And that's an overlying theme for the entire series, is that the main character, Quentin, is obsessed with Fillory and the childhood stories that he grew up with, and is pretty determined to have his own adventure quest story, just like those books, and kind of comes to accept throughout his experiences that you can change your mind. Your destiny is not set. Also, things change your mind for you, whether you like it or not. You have to accept the way things come, and you also have to work. Like, every adventure is not all fun and dandy. People die, people cheat. So that's mainly what appealed to me about the series, is how realistic a fantasy story can be. There's a ton of fantasy. This is definitely a high fantasy series, but it's extremely real thoughts and people that are in it, in that they don't have these amazing, glorious ideas of how to succeed in life. They are struggling through it just like the rest of us, and I think that's why it's so relatable. I just highly, highly recommend this series. It's very dark, it's very gritty, and it's gripping, but it's tough to read at times. There are definitely some really rough scenes. Also, fun fact, this was in no way planned, and it's kind of fortunate that it worked out this way. This series is being turned into a TV show starting, I believe, tonight, depending on when I upload this, but I believe January 25th is the premiere of the first episode. So definitely check out the series. It's on Sci-Fi, and I believe you can watch the first episode online as of right now. So those are my thoughts on this. Definitely check them out. I highly recommend them. If nothing else, there are definitely some great plugs for other series. I really enjoy when characters in books who live in the real world and experience high fantasy things reference high fantasy books. Like, they reference Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Trek, Star Wars. There's all the fandoms that you can think of are mentioned in this book, and it runs really well in with the characters. It makes it all the more relatable and believable. So that's a little thing that I liked about this series. But definitely check these out. Check out the TV show. I can't recommend that yet because I have not watched it yet. So that's gonna be it for me, this video. Hopefully you guys check this series out. I can't recommend it enough. So I will see you guys next time.